Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Well Below Average podcast. I'm on remote. We got the whole crew here today. Nick, been in the Magic Kingdom for a little while. How was
Yeah,
it?
it was great. I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but I don't know if either of y'all have ever been to Disney World, at least as a not a young child. But it's a blast. My wife and I both love it. My wife has kind of converted me into a Disney person, so we had a great time. I got to have some time just us away from the baby, which was nice because her parents live in the area, so we were able to dump the baby off at the grandkids and kind of hang out for a while. So that was great. We had a good time.
That's
Yeah,
clutch.
that's yeah. I saw the pictures and so you this is you said this is the first time you've been in a while, right? This is a trip you've had to push back.
Yeah, well, the first time we've been to the parks in 2 years, but we were supposed to go in February for a long weekend, like a Friday, Monday deal. And we got COVID, or end of January, early February, but we got COVID. So we had to push it back. So it got pushed back to April. Only negative is that it's already 90 degrees as the high in Florida, which with the humidity is awful. It just was by the middle of the day, afternoon, it felt pretty terrible. So that was not great. That's why we wanted to go in February, January, because the weather was better. But other than that, we had a good time.
Well, awesome, man. We're glad you're back. And Roy, how's it going? How's the kid's birthday today, right?
It's good, man. Good memory. Yeah. Not party. We're doing the party next Saturday, but the kid's birthday was in full effect today. So we probably went overboard. Got him a bike, his first bike, which I did not know I would have to assemble, but
Okay.
apparently you do. So that was a surprise and a disappointment, but I got it done. And then we got one for his little sister too, since if he's going to get a bike, it's kind of, she can't really follow him around like she wants to if she doesn't get one too. So I was constructing two bicycles today, but it worked out well. And we're all kind of, I got COVID this week and I've just been getting over that still. So you might hear a pretty gnarly cough on my end that I will try to keep a mute on.
Is this the first time you've gotten COVID, or have you had it before?
It is. For me, I've never gotten it. I had 2 shots and the booster, so I don't know if that's a shot and 2 boosters or if that's – I felt like it was half and half, of a full shot, and then I got another booster. So that's where I'm at. I've had a total of 3. And, I was on a tin can last weekend, so it doesn't really matter how much I did in that respect. I wore a mask everywhere I went in the airport, but shoot, I was out of town for a wedding, so what did I expect? It's pretty stupid of me, to be honest with you, but I risked it, and now my whole family's paying the price.
Well, at least now, this was my mindset because it took me forever to get it too. Now, at least now you're as protected as you could be. You've got the 2 shots, the booster, you got it. And so you can't get more protected than that. I don't know about you. When I had it, I was only sick for a day. I wasn't, thankfully I got the shots, I got the booster. So I really wasn't that sick. My wife got it a little worse than I did, but even her, she could function. She was, felt pretty good. So thankfully, the vaccine did its job, but at least now you I guess you didn't get it out of the way because you can get it again, but you've had it now.
Yeah. It hasn't been too lingering too bad, right? The worst of it may be a little bit of body aches, but you're right. It was only a one really bad day for me, and then the rest of it was functionable.
Well, get better. I haven't had it yet, so not that I know of, I guess. I've been sick a couple of times, but it's always the same feeling sick, same time of year I've always gotten sick, so I don't know. I never go anywhere when I'm sick anyway. So, we're all caught up. Couple of things. We got some we've got a great show for everybody.
Nick,
as a return of
really sketchy. Is that just me? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Adam, but your audio is really
fine.
Fuzzy.
Yeah,
Nick, is it?
Yeah, it is. No, yeah, it is kind of fuzzy all of a sudden.
Is it better if I stay like this?
No.
I don't know.
No?
It's like it's over-modulated, honestly. It's
Hmm.
I don't know if maybe
Well,
further away would help.
I am out here on a pop-up at an event, and I'm in Flower
Okay.
Mound. Can you hear me? Better?
Sure. No worries. Well, sorry to stop you down on it. I just didn't know if it was coming that way or not.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. I'm on just on my network, so hopefully we can get through it. Um, but yeah, so we got a good show coming up. I'm doing it in my van. I'm out here in Flower Mound. It's very warm today out here, guys. So it's
was
a
warm
sweltering
today, man.
one.
It is starting to get
I'm not
hot,
used to
dude.
it.
We got our 2 weeks of spring, and now it's going to be hitting us with
Yeah.
85 and 90 for the next 5 months.
Mm-hmm. And every time I got a sunburn in the shade the other day, so
Yeah.
I'm I don't know, I'm getting older and the sun's hurting me more. But we got a return of an old friend of ours, Nick. We got a couple of poop stories, which I think are quite good. At least one. Cover the draft. I think we never got Nick's thoughts on it. We'll see how our respective teams did, how we feel about it, and yeah, we got a big Mavs series coming up tomorrow, game 1 of the second round of the playoffs. So our little Mavericks have advanced for the first time in 11 years, 10 years.
11.
In the
Yeah.
11 years in the playoffs. So I'll give a quick shout out to our sponsors. I don't have the t-shirts behind me, but what we got? I know this. Local
I
Menace,
got it.
right?
Oh, never mind.
You got it? Go ahead.
I was going to say Rodeo Coffee first, but Rodeo Coffee roasted right here in Fort Worth. They have a coffee trailer Thursday through Sunday, 7 to 11:30. Thursday through Sunday rather. You can get specialty drinks, roasted coffees, all those things. Check out their Instagram. They do some, I think, pop-ups every once in a while, but most of the time they're slinging espresso and making drinks out there in I guess far west Fort Worth, right off at 30. So check them out on Instagram.
Yes, and also check out Local Menace. You can find them at localmenace.com, Local Menace at Local Menace on all the socials. They have they're a Dallas-based artist-owned streetwear brand, hell-bent on destroying your wardrobe. Check them out. They got hats, beanies, T-shirts, pendants, all kinds of stuff. They come out with stuff all the time. I love their zip-up hoodies. Are awesome. Check them out and use code BEARDCREW to get 25% off. There it is, right there on the screen. 25% off your order at localmenace.com. All right, and you can come out here to Flower Mound and check out Ish Beard Works if you're watching live. So I'm going to disappear for a second, I think, because I got to look at the run sheet. Well, actually, let's talk about sports first. But the big event, the draft. Roy, start us out. How did you think it went? What did you think of? And we talked with KT last week, and we all kind of had some thoughts and stuff, but a bit of a wild ride, I think.
I mean, it's kind of how the Cowboys have done it historically. They put a lot of faith, a lot of eggs in the draft that they're going to hit on quite a few guys, and it didn't seem like the general consensus was that they made a very good selection on Thursday night. But, credit to them as they kind of bounced back Friday. There was a lot of positivity around the picks that they made. And I'm not going to try to pretend like I watched all these guys and I can tell you what they're going to bring to the table, because I can't. I'm just basing a lot of what I'm assuming on people that have spent a lot of time watching it and have opinions about it and where they had guys that the Cowboys did select. And while most of them didn't have that first round pick, Tyler Smith, as being that guy there in that spot, a lot of the players that they took later in the draft were guys that were thought to be by the Dane Bruglers of the world and others to be a lot better than where they wound up taking them. So I think the Cowboys did ultimately probably have a B plus draft. Everybody's talking about that 5th round tackle that they got. I mean, this guy apparently could, change a whole lot for them. And let's face it, like, you can get offensive linemen late. They can develop, and that's probably that position, that particular position in this draft that was like incredibly deep. So I think the Cowboys, for the most part, actually did a pretty good job in this draft, and time will tell. I mean, they're going to have done a good job in this draft if they want to take a step forward based on all the stuff that they lost.
What do you go ahead, Nick? You talk about Cowboys. Give us your thoughts on the Steelers if you want.
Yeah. Well, my team's the only one that took a quarterback, at least.
I made that pick, by the way, Adam. I hope you
You
remember
did, yeah.
that in our mock draft. I made that pick.
I remember. Good call.
My buddies were texting me, like an hour before. We were not at Disney Thursday night. We actually went to dinner with a friend I have that lives out there, and we had the draft on, like, in the background at this restaurant. My buddies were texting me, like, okay, who do you think they're going to take? Who do you think they're going to take? And I was like 75 is going to be Malik Willis. I thought they would take him at 20. I didn't think they would take Kenny Pickett. I also thought Kenny Pickett would go like 6 to the Panthers. And, went down the board, and they really had their choice of whoever they wanted. And the Steelers are not shy about who they like. Like, think back to last year, like, everyone knew they would take Najee Harris. They took Najee Harris. And they showed a lot of interest in Kenny Pickett, and he's played next door forever. I have gotten more excited about the pick as the draft has went on. I mean, they've got 2, I think, really good receivers, some great value in the second and third round. They went back-to-back, or second and fourth round, rather. They went back-to-back, 2 receivers. They've given him weapons. They've got a lot there. They retooled the offensive line. It's a little concerning that no other quarterback went until, was it the early 4th, or did Ritter go in the 3rd?
Third
round, okay.
I thought Ritter went in the 3rd, and then Malik Willis went in the 3rd as well to the Titans.
Oh, yeah, late. They both went, kind of the back portion of that 3rd round. And so, they're either going to look really good for taking a guy at 20 that works out, or they're going to, look bad for the only team that took a quarterback. I will say this, though. They need a franchise quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky's not that guy, and so you might as well just swing when you get the chance and hope that you hit on one, because people and teams and organizations take guys in the 1st round all the time that flop, and they're right back at it. I mean, look at the Browns in their own division. I mean, they haven't been able to make their quarterback work that they've picked in decades, and still trying to figure that out. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty happy with it. They got some other guys, in the later rounds that I think will help fill out the roster. They're a lot like the Cowboys in the way that they have to hit on the draft in order to be successful. They bank a lot on that. Young guys play right away. So we'll see. But all in all, I was really surprised. Like, I really thought Malik Willis would be the pick. I actually saw Roy. I didn't know who picked it, obviously, but I saw that Kenny Pickett was the pick, when I wasn't on the show last week, and I thought to myself, like, I don't think that's going to be it. So credit to you there. You nailed that one.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying Malik Willis, like, as a Titans fan, because this all does kind of tie into us all together now. I was stunned that Malik Willis was taken as late as he was. It wasn't like draft people didn't think he was a 1st-round talent even still, right? I mean, even with, like, quarterback-heavy teams and all that, he was thought of as a guy that would be taken in those first, 30, 40 picks. So I was pretty shocked the Titans wound up with him. And, yeah, I mean, that's a big gap in terms of taking quarterbacks and the value with them. But, the Titans really don't need a quarterback as much as I would say the Steelers ultimately do.
How'd you feel about the Titans, what they did?
I mean, hate that they traded with the Eagles and made them a better team, because A.J. Brown in the same division, just basically giving up a 1st-round pick, and that's all they had to give up. That was a pretty salty move. And, will Treylon Burks be that much worse? I mean, A.J. Brown's getting $25 million a year. Treylon Burks going to make $15 million for his 4-year contract, and then maybe if he gets a 5th year from a rookie option standpoint, it's one of those rare things that was a win-win, and I definitely think the Titans made a good move by making that deal, just because they were no longer in the ballpark. They were offering I think 17. He wanted $22 million a year. They were like, no, we're not going to go that far.
Yeah, that was a surprising one. I still not scared of the Eagles, but yeah, glad to see. Yeah, I think Willis is going to be good. How much longer does what's his name, your quarterback, have on his
Tannehill, I mean, it's
Tannehill?
that's just it, man. Like you look at this past year, they lost a playoff game, and they would have only needed like 20 points to win it. Like, I mean, he gave them 0 points in the second half. He had 3 turnovers in that game. If he does anything in that game, they win. So, they're looking at it and going, we got to make an upgrade here. Forget the fact that he's like the cheapest option in the NFL as a starter right now, outside of guys who aren't real starters. But yeah, I mean, he's making like $18 million a year, so it's his make or break year. And it'll be nice to have a guy behind that, like, if he really starts sucking, they could bring somebody in that's athletic and maybe can give them a spark.
Yeah, and you never know how it's going to work out. So yeah, I like the Titans draft. I like Pittsburgh always seems to draft good. I've taken to Pittsburgh envy when it comes to off season because Jerry Jones just doesn't. It's always keeping you guessing. But Dallas, I think, his biggest thing is going to be Trey Smith, right? Or Tyler Smith, sorry. If he kicks in the guard and plays well and cleans up those injuries, it's going to be a good pick. If he can kick out the left tackle like they think, it becomes a phenomenal pick. But I thought they had a good, solid draft, the Cowboys. We'll see, though. That first-round pick matters a lot. And, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Were either of the other – I wasn't, locked into the first round. Were any of the, I guess, Green and was it Johnson, the two best guards? Were they? I know one was off the board. Were they both off the board?
They were both gone, yeah. They were both gone. Really, the pick that most people were clamoring for the Cowboys to make, even though based on reports, they never were going to take Tyler Lindenbaum. So the center out of like Iowa, I think it was, they were never going to take him, but he was rated as amongst the big board and others as like a guy that was right there talent-wise that they could like. And then the next best player was these guys like Jermaine Johnson, these talents that were, edge rushers, like, really intriguing prospects. I would have said probably Jermaine Johnson was the next guy that I would have taken. And those were the ones that were available. But, like, of the guys that were available, it wasn't a lot of the names that people were mocking to them.
Yeah, it fell weird, but I wouldn't have minded Booth there. Just get you insurance for Kelvin Joseph. But
yeah,
that would have made sense. But no, I like their draft pick. That Sam Williams guy, Ole Miss end. Outside of his red flags off the field, he's
can't
great
have
talent.
A draft pick. Jerry doesn't take a guy with some kind of off-field sexual history, whatever it is. It's always something.
Well, he identifies with those people, I guess, after his baby coming out of the woodworks.
And I shouldn't vaguely just say it like Williams was charged with sexual battery that was eventually dropped when he was suspended from Ole Miss in July of 2020. So it's just, again, like there's always something. And, hey, that's why when from a grade standpoint, they're like, you know what, that's pretty good value. It's crazy, and I hate that that's a part of it. But, yeah, that's good value because he had red flags.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully he keeps it clean off the field and produces. What did we think? I know you weren't dialed in, Nick, but the Patriots pick of Cole Strange out of Chattanooga, who I had Dallas maybe in the 88 being interested in him. What'd you say, Nick? Go ahead.
I mean, like Roy said earlier, I'm not watching all of these guys, so like I can't make a definitive statement about like, oh, he did this or he did that. I do know that like every ranking I saw or anything like that had him well lower than the first round. Certainly not a kind of guy you take to start right away. And so maybe Bill Belichick's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I don't know. Did y'all see the video of like Sean McVay and I guess some other Rams guy. They were like when that pick happened, they were joking with each other, and they're like, oh, well, we were watching his tape to take him at like 108 or something like that, and the Patriots take him in the top 30. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, certainly surprising.
Yeah, it's an odd pick, but yeah, just kind of went the way you think it would go. A lot of trading. I was looking at our draft, mock draft, Roy, and we got a lot right. Some of them went to the same team in a different spot. A lot of them went to the same spots to a different team, but I think we were somewhere in the 40% range. I was pretty proud of us.
Well,
putting that together.
I'll take that, especially for a guy, again, who is not spending any time watching tape of these guys outside of like what I'm reading and quick scouting reports and all that stuff. So, hey, that's a win in my book.
Awesome. So, draft is over. We'll talk plenty of football as we approach that. But other big news here in Dallas sports-wise is our Mavericks have advanced over the Utah Jazz in 6 games and are now facing a team they've had a ton of trouble with lately, the Phoenix Suns. So what's your thoughts on that, Nick? On that series coming up?
I think Lucas said something to this effect yesterday, day before. They're going to have to play some perfect games to beat the Suns. Devin Booker coming off an injury, a little beat up. Maybe that plays to their advantage. Of course, you don't want anybody to get hurt. Hopefully, Luka gets closer to 100%. I did not watch, and I actually didn't finish Game 6. It was on so late. We were still in Florida when they beat the Jazz. But I feel like there's a lot of, for lack of a better term, like meat left on the bone with them. Like they're started that series and got a lot from some contributors, and like late in the season we're getting a lot from different guys. I feel like Dinwiddie has been okay but not great. And so can they beat the Suns? Sure, they could beat them. They've got one of the best players in the world, and he's he has more points scored or something like that in the playoffs, or averaging more points than anybody but Michael Jordan in his first 16 playoff games, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's on Twitter somewhere. So Luka is phenomenal. He could do it, but yeah, the Suns have given him trouble. In fact, that was the first game Luka played in. The Mavericks opened in Phoenix and lost that game, the first game of his NBA career. So coming full circle here, maybe could advance to the West Finals. I have my doubts, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah,
I feel like the Mavs, have done as much as they can up to this point. Like Nick said, at this point, they're kind of relying on some of these role players having to step up. Certainly, Luka can't do it all on his own, although he looks like he could have, at least against the Jazz. But yeah, the Phoenix Suns are a different beast, and I know I kind of jokingly, tongue-in-cheek, predicted they would take on the Memphis Grizzlies. I think Memphis is probably kind of in the same boat, right? Like a good enough team to say that they are going to be here for a while, but are they, amongst the top 2 teams in the Western Conference? Probably not, right? That's probably a fully healthy Warriors and a fully healthy Phoenix Suns team.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I want to be homerish in this, so I'm going to go 7 Suns and 7 is my prediction. Thinking the Mavs will take them all the way. You have any thoughts?
I will say the Suns in 6. The Mavs lose some close games, but they take them to 6 games, similar to the Clippers series the past 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. I think probably Suns in 6 as well, but I'll be optimistic with you. I'll say Suns in 7, and shoot, the Mavericks got a chance. This is not a series, anything could happen. This is not a series that you can just write the Mavs off it.
Yeah. Well, just the way they man, I can't recall seeing a Mavs team that works that hard on defense. I love the way they play on defense, and if they can play good defense and work hard and play good team defense, I think they have a good chance. I think that's where kind of the key's going to be.
I mean, no matter what happens this season, Jason Kidd's first season, like successful, I'd call it. You win a playoff series, go to the West semifinals, you could push the Suns to 6 games. I mean, even if you don't, I think you call it a successful year, and you go into next year hoping to take the next step and see what you can do in the off season. But Kidd has surprised me. You mentioned the defense, and maybe it's not all him, but he certainly gets some credit. I mean, they've been a great defensive team at times and have good all year, and then they get the offense from different places, not just Luka, and of course Luka's his normal self, and here we are. So I've been happy with the season, no matter what happens in this series, but I just think Phoenix is a little too much for them.
And yeah, I don't disagree with that. So got some sports talk in. Let's move to some entertainment, because I saw a movie and it was really good. My wife didn't enjoy it as much as I did, but I saw the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nick Cage. Have y'all heard anything about this movie?
Looks funny.
I've heard a little bit about it, but I haven't thought about seeing it. So I'm glad that one of us has, and you can maybe convince me.
Oh. Yeah, so I won't spoil it. Hopefully not, but it's really interesting. It's real goofy, but I got on a lesser plane. It's a total Step Brothers type movie. It's a bromance movie. It's all it is, and it's goofy and a little weird and cringy at times. But it's a perfect Nick Cage movie. Him playing himself. So if you enjoy Nick Cage, go see it. If you like anything about him, he's basically playing a caricature of himself. So, interesting watch. Not a long movie. Fun. I highly recommend it.
Pedro Pascal.
Y'all do?
Playing a comedic role in that. I mean, I knew him from obviously Narcos and how prevalent he was in that show. But yeah, he was. I hear he's very, very good in this as well.
Yeah, very funny. Has one of the funniest scenes, I think, in the whole movie. So check it out. It's worth a watch. It doesn't. I don't think it necessarily has to be seen in the theater. So if you wait till it comes out on, Netflix or even video on demand, just check it out. It's a good one. Did we watch Outer Range? Have we started that yet? Are we doing that? I've talked to both of you.
I haven't started it. No, I haven't really been in TV watching mode the past week and a half.
Man, I've been in anything constructive mode here on my side. So yeah, have not started it yet.
So TV watching is not constructive. I've been told that my whole life.
It is constructive if you're doing it for a show,
I guess I'll give you that one. All right, well, moving along. I think we're gonna have a short show today. Nick, do we have a Nick Hates It? We haven't had one in a while.
Well, we can. Yeah, we have a Disney edition.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear about this trip, man.
Yeah, I mean, neither of you are like. I asked if you've been to Disney recently. This really applies to like theme parks in general. Like this major idea we're going to talk about, but Disney is even more so. So obviously, Disney World is insanely crowded. No matter what park you go to. And actually, we'll start with this. Speaking of the crowds, the Hollywood Studios is one of the parks at Disney World, and they have Rise of the Resistance, the Star Wars ride, and there's like a Star Wars land. Have you guys heard of this? You familiar with what I'm talking about here?
Heard of it now, yeah.
And so, this is new. Disney has not always owned or whatever been in partnership with the Star Wars Corporation. This is new in the last, 5 years, 8 years, something like that. Anyway, what it has caused is a new group of influx of people. Like, we don't have our just Disney fans. Now we have our Star Wars fans. And so Hollywood Studios is insanely crowded all the time because of the people that just want to come see the Star Wars part of the park. And so I hate that a lot. Hollywood Studios was incredibly crowded. Now, we got there really early, like 7:45 a.m., like right when we can get in, and didn't have any problems. riding what we wanted to, and then we hopped over to another park around 1 o'clock. Like we're pretty experienced at this. Plus, if you have a disability, it's like gold at Disney. So rather than waiting in line, I can get on my phone and use the app, and it's disability access service, and you can do one ride at a time. And I can so as soon as I get in the park, I can do Rise of Resistance, which is the Star Wars ride, and check in, and it starts my wait time. So as if I was in line. And so where you benefit is at the start of the day, it's obviously the shortest, and so it's on the far side of the park. Well, as soon as we got there, we check in, and then it's a 50-minute wait, and we just do use the restroom, grab a drink, get something to eat, ride another ride that has a short line, and we get to ride it. So that was great. That part's the best. But it just made it incredibly crowded. So I don't hate Star Wars at all. I actually like Star Wars, but I hate all the Star Wars people that are now influxing Disney and making it more crowded for the rest of us. The other thing, and the major thing that I hate, and this goes to theme parks in general. Are you guys familiar with scooters that you can get if you can't walk or you need assistance, maybe an elderly person that they can scooter around at Six Flags or at Disney, similar like the grocery store, right? They have these same sorts of scooters. Well, at Disney, you have to pay for them, which is kind of ridiculous in and of itself, but I get it, because there are so many people, and I saw specifically a mother-daughter combo that got these scooters and were scootering around. Now, where this comes into play is rather than wait in line, they can go in. Now they still have to wait, but they can go in the handy area and get in that way, and kind of it lessens their time. And no, I'm not kidding you. A mom, a lady, maybe 50, maybe probably in her 40s, and then her daughter, 12, 13, in their little scooters. And I rolled my eyes to my wife, and she's like, well, you don't know, maybe they really have trouble. They pulled up right to the front of the line, got up, walked, healthy as could be, got in the coaster right in front of us, actually, rode the coaster, got off, and walked right back to their little scooters and went off. And so really hate them. Hopefully they aren't ever listening to this, but really hate them and all the people that abuse the fact that you can pay $50 no matter if you need it or not, and ride these little scooters around. Plus, people in those generally don't have a lot of awareness for the people around them. They'll just cut in front of you, go right by, sort of like they got some protection because they're not walking. But really hate those two ladies. Hope they had a horrible trip for abusing that. And by the way, when we left Hollywood Studios, there were none left. They literally, all of them had been used. You couldn't rent one for the day. So people who don't need them are taking them from maybe a grandparent who could use it because they're with their grandkids, and they can't walk the entire day. So hopefully they had a horrible trip, and I don't know.
Now, is there a fast pass? Is Disney capitalizing on the fast pass craze?
So no, in fact there used to be fast passes, but there are not anymore. And this is very Disney of them. It's now called Lightning Lane, and what that means is you have to pay $15 per ride, per person, and you can get in the Lightning Lane.
Per ride?
Yeah. So if I wanted to make sure, if I had five, most parks, it's 4 or 5 rides that I really like. And so if I want, I'd have to pay $15 for each one. Now that's where the disability thing comes into play. For example, I can, before our trip, a month before, I can log on with a Disney person, and they ask you, what's your disability? Why do you need this? You pre-register. And then I can pick rides that we want for the days we're going to be at the parks. So I got to pick 2 ahead of time. And they give you a return time similar to an old fast pass. So 9, 10 p.m., 10 to 11, whatever it is. And for us, really, we never had to wait unless we just were trying to wait in a short line to kill time. And so really Disney, more than anywhere else, if you have a disability, and even if it's very mild, I would encourage you to take advantage of it, because you can really get through everything you want. We rode, I don't know, at Hollywood Studios, we wanted to ride 5 rides. We got through them and we're done with everything by noon. And we got there at 7:45 a.m. But I got through everything, ate lunch. It was noon, and we were ready to go, to the next park. So it makes it work. But the people that, that just lightning lane everything. I mean, they're spending a lot, especially if you've got kids. I mean, they want to ride everything. It's for every person. I mean, you're spending a lot more money, so it gets pricey.
So when you went to Hollywood Studios, does that include that you went and saw all the Star Wars items, or did you stay away from that completely because you were so stuffed?
Well, so I have been before. We went before, like 2 years ago was the last time we went, and we saw everything, like had lunch in that little area, rode the rides, and it's really cool. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job with it. And this time, we walked over there, rode Rise of the Resistance, and left. Like it was so crowded, we didn't want to, be through that. And then right next to it is Toy Story Land, which is madness as well, because our generation loves Toy Story, but now even kids today, Roy, I don't know about your kids, but there's so many kids love Toy Story, and so it's packed as well. So those two areas are just insanity. You're fighting people to get ticket anywhere through those.
Yeah, that's insane. That's the stuff my wife and kids love, that kind of stuff. I can't do that all day. That's just not me.
I want to do it for the memories, right? I want to do it I'll do the sacrifice. I know it's going to suck. I'm not looking forward to that stuff. But I do want to get the memories, and I do want them to experience it before they're too old and jaded, so they still think it's magical and special.
I would say wait till your youngest is at least 5. That way they're kind of in that sweet spot, where they don't really need a nap or anything. They can make it through. They can ride things. They're not too short to, ride anything. Yeah. And they still get the magic out of it. I saw people dragging around, kids that couldn't, kids my daughter's age. My daughter is, almost 10 months old. Now, we didn't bring her. She came to the park a little bit with my in-laws. But I saw people just carrying around 10 months old. At that point, they're just a weight. You're just having to carry them around, feed them. They can't do anything. You can't do anything. There's no point. So, yeah, I would wait. 5 to 10, I feel is the sweet spot for Disney for kids. Maybe even a little bit older.
Oh, man. I went to Disney last time I was there. Well, yeah, last time I was there, my 22-year-old niece was a baby, and that's what it was. Someone had to sit with her, so everybody traded who was going to sit with the baby while everybody went on a ride. So yeah. That was pretty.
We love it. My wife, we had a photo shoot with our baby at the castle. She wore a little Cinderella dress. She was at Magic Kingdom for 30 minutes for us to do that. So we loved that. Cool. We're big Disney fans, the parks, and love it, and probably will go back in less than a year because, helps that my in-laws live there, so it saves us quite a bit. But we're big fans, so if you need tips, let me know.
I'm going to hit you up on that for sure.
Definitely. Well, thanks, Nick. I'm glad you could get that off your chest. So, Roy, do you have anything? You have a Roy's sunny side with Roy, or
Yeah, man, I wish I did, but like I said, COVID has been a little bit of a bitch, and we've just been fighting through it, man. Not good on the marriage is COVID, so don't get it if you can help it, especially if you have little kids, because then you're putting pressure on one individual to take care of everything for a week, and it doesn't go great.
Well, hang in there. You'll get to feeling better. So,
did your whole family? Did you pass it around?
They do. They all got it now. I had it Monday. Kids got it Wednesday. My wife got it Friday, and she's still now dealing with the lingering effects of it. So.
Oh dang! The kids are little. How'd they take it?
Fine. Little fever one day. Bad fever one day. That's it. That's about it. Cough. They do have a cough, but they haven't complained of body aches or stomach issues or anything like that. Nausea, like my wife has.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they didn't get the brunt of it. So, well, hope y'all get better. And I may disappear for a second. I got to look at my story real quick.
Sure.
We're gonna move into the news. This is I just want to get a okay. I can't say that. I just can't pronounce it. Washington woman. This is interesting. So we had a string for a while there, and I tried to pepper them in where we had poop stories. And we had some naked stories. We had several themes of stories, and I found this one was
We were just,
a
let's
woman.
be honest, we were just buoyed by the Amber Heard story about her defecating on Johnny Depp's
Yes.
bed.
Well,
That's where this all started, where all the excitement began.
and this was on last week's run sheet, but I didn't want to. We went pretty long, so a woman in Washington State, some city I can't pronounce. I'm trying to go from memory here. It's pretty short, but basically, she was going to an outhouse, so she was like camping type situation. Dropped her phone in the bad spot down the hole.
Hmm?
Tried to gain some leverage and grab onto some stuff and reach down to grab her phone, and lost her grip, and had the worst swim of her life.
Yeah. So the woman apparently was using, what they have is this is not a porta potty, right? This is what's known as a vault toilet. And these are found at campgrounds near hiking trails. They are waterless and non-flushing. So the only liquids in there are man-made or woman-made. Not to mention what else you would find in that type of place.
And also, how long? I mean, it just stays there. It all just stays there.
I don't know. I mean, as far as I understand, it's not like a drained type of thing. And this woman fell head first into it, where fire crews had to rescue her. And I mean, I guess the ultimate question is any cell phone worth that?
No.
Gosh, man, that's hard, dude. That's really hard.
I mean, if you drop it in there, you expect it. At that point, okay, it probably is not going to work if I get to it, and then I got to clean it. I don't know.
Are you ever really going to feel comfortable holding that thing up against your face ever again?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I mean, I could not barely, but my daughter has recently, I guess, figured out that you can handle your business in a tub. It's relaxing, and sometimes if you're having trouble, you can just take care of business in the tub. She's done it twice, once with us and once with the grandparents. So we dodged the bullet there. Well, that was, I mean, that's my own kid, and it was, we're playing
For some reason, with your own
Joe's.
kids, you'll fight through it, man. That's the only situation in which I would brave it. But the woman, funny enough, she fell into that thing. The only reason she got out is because she got her phone and was able to call 911. And so she spent 20 minutes in there, and the comment from the fire rescue crew afterwards is pretty hilarious. The patient was extremely fortunate not to be overcome by toxic gases before they were able to make the phone call to us, because it took them about 20 minutes to find their phone.
Man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's terrible. No.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I think I read somewhere they suggested she go to the hospital, and she just wanted to leave. She was done with it.
They did. They hosed her down. They gave her a Tyvek suit to wear. She declined any further medical treatment and just continued doing what she was doing. So,
I mean, because then at the hospital, every doctor and nurse you talk to, okay, can you tell me what happened? You've got to recount that every time.
I just kind of want to forget this for sure.
Yeah. They didn't put her name in there, did they?
I did not see her name, no. Probably don't want that in there for her.
No, I would hope not. I wouldn't want to say it.
Mid-40s,
Yeah,
though.
so that's
She's in our wheelhouse. She's close to us.
Oh man, because I could see myself doing something dumb like that. I got
you,
this,
Adam.
and then it could have been me. Very much so. I'm not doing the podcast that day if I fall into
I'll forgive you.
port of. Yeah, if it happens during the week, I'll talk about it in the podcast. But that day, I'm taking off. Oh man, yeah, that's an interesting one. What was the other one? You got them up?
What's your closest encounter? Like, because having had kids, Nick, your closest
Okay.
encounter with poop was that story of the tub?
I mean, not the closest. I mean, with her, it's like when we were. This was early on. We're delirious, no sleep, holding her in bed. Her first blowout was I was holding her, didn't have a shirt on. She was just in a diaper. And she was so small that it wasn't a ton. We're not talking about a lot
Sure,
there,
but any little bit, you're like, ooh.
But it was definitely gross. But that was the first one. I was just holding her in bed and just right on. I was like, what is? I felt something. I was like, what is that? And it was on my arm. It was bad. It was bad.
Adam,
oh man,
do you have one before I give you mine? Because mine is a topper.
Yeah, I have several. The most one that jumps to mind is my son. He was about 2, somewhere in that 12 to 24 month period, and went to the grocery store. We're taking him to daycare. I went to stop at the grocery store that morning, and I grabbed a little carton of blackberries, and I gave them to him as we were driving from the grocery store to his daycare, and he whiffed down the whole carton. I didn't think nothing of it. It's berries. It's fine. He's got teeth. He can chew. I get a call about an hour and a half later that I need to come pick him up because he's sick. He's got diarrhea. And oh no. And I go to pick him up and I open his diaper and it's straight blueberry. And all the next 48 hours, it was blueberry blowouts up his back, around his shoulders. Oh, every time it was just, or not blackberries. Yeah. So it was a rough couple of days unpassing all that roughage.
The berries do it to my kids. The blueberries, like you can see them distinctly if they've eaten blueberries in the past. But my story is actually, it's the worst thing you could imagine happening. It didn't happen to me though. I watched it happen to my wife. I actually watched her go through with it, and I couldn't believe my eyes. And it was only after kind of a stunned realization when she looked at me that she realized what she did. So she was holding our daughter, and our daughter had the bad habit of scratching herself after she pooped, right? So it might not be a blowout, but she could every now and then wind up with a handful of and you didn't know where it came from until you realized, okay, she just put her hand down her pouch. And if you didn't see it, you might not catch it in the immediate moment, right? So it was a day that my wife had gotten these fudge popsicles, the really, dark brown popsicle that you can imagine makes sense and is very delicious when eaten just in and of itself. She was holding my daughter, and my daughter at some point had reached down into the back of her pants and wiped her fingers on my wife's popsicle. But my wife, who I did not know if she had seen it, but I was certain that she had when I watched her turn the popsicle and look at it before flexing her tongue and just giving it a bit. And I looked at her and my eyes went wide, what did you do? And she looked down and could still see some of the discoloration. When you look close, you obviously, that is not fudge. That's a different that's a lighter brown and different texture. And she immediately went to the sink, she's scratching her tongue and washing her tongue. And to be honest with you, it sounds, I was going to say it sounds worse than it is, I don't know how it had to have been awful, but she claims that the amount of it that was there, she couldn't really she didn't really register immediately that she had just eaten shit until my reaction to her was like, what are you doing? And so,
oh my gosh.
yeah, man, that's one we still laugh about today. But in the moment, I was as floored as I could be seeing something like that.
I don't know I don't know how to continue on the podcast after that.
So sorry, guys.
I guess we'll see y'all next week. That was an amazing story, man.
Thanks.
Oh my
no,
gosh.
I mean I had to get. Glad we brought that poop up, and I remembered it. She probably doesn't love it when I tell that story, but it's a true one. Girl ate some shit.
So that's crazy. Well, I guess moving on. Do you have the second story up?
No, I don't. Tell me what it is, and I bet I can find it.
Man inhaled drill bit during dentist visit.
Wow. Okay. Go on. Illinois. A man inhales a drill bit during a dental visit. It was just a routine trip to the hospital. When they did the CT scan, they realized you didn't swallow it, you inhaled it. Said the 60-year-old Tom Josie. I didn't really even feel it going down. All I felt was a cough. Whoa. 1 inch bit deep. 1 inch bit was inhaled into the guy's lung. Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Josie said he was told that if it couldn't be taken out, part of his lung would have to be removed.
That's crazy.
Wow. Video shows, oh my gosh, they put video of the scan up. Video of the scan shows the medical team was able to navigate the narrow airways using a tool that was designed for early detection of cancer. They reached the drill bit and pulled it out without harming him.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's harrowing. What kind of lawsuit is that?
Yeah, that's on the dentist, right? Or whoever's
Yeah, you better get that damn drill, dude. You better get that effing drill. Taking my lung out? Nah. Your practice will be done if that drill isn't removed. And in fact, even after that drill is removed, bro, we might still have to have some words between your lawyers and mine. Right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and maybe this is just like my circle, but I feel like I've heard more horror stories about the dentist than any other medical field. Like, not just things like this happening, but like people getting scammed out of money, or like, oh, we're gonna cost you $2,000 to do this. Like, sorry, like that's just the only option. Like, and even me, like, I went to the dentist. I don't know, this was a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, before our wedding, for a cleaning, just a cleaning. And the dentist came in. He was like, everything looks good, but I do think you could use braces. But the first time in my life, I knew, you could use these Invisalign braces, and the total cost was like $8,000. And I was like, yeah, right. Like, no way. I'm 30 years old. Who cares? I'm not going to get braces.
I'm over
I just feel like I've heard so many stories about the dentist. Like, you scam me out of money. Something goes wrong. Like, you need more work done. And now this guy, swallows something. Hopefully we get a follow-up on this, because surely there's some sort of lawsuit or something that happens.
Yeah, man. Who knows, man? An old guy like that, he might just be thankful that his lung didn't need to be taken out.
Yeah, that's scary. I went to the dentist. This is gonna be disgusting, but for the first time in like a decade, last month.
Oh yeah?
It was not fun. Yeah.
How'd that go?
Dentist is mean. It hurts when he cleans my teeth.
Yeah.
So,
and did they give you?
Good thing I don't have to do it for. Yeah, actually, I was surprised. There's no cavities, nothing. So, yeah.
Good.
I'm just glad it doesn't have to happen for another 10 years. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I go to the
No,
dentist.
my wife's. You do. My wife's
Once
gonna
a
make me
year?
go once a
Yeah,
year.
I wish
Yeah.
I didn't, but
Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad. I guess there's worse things than the dentist. Inhaling a drill bit at the dentist.
hey,
Falling in
man,
a poop
you
cavity.
know what? You hate the dentist now, but if you ever get a toothache, man, something that like really is bothering you every day, every time you drink something liquid or cold, it like burns or aches, bro. That
Mm-hmm.
stuff is that is a killer.
Yeah. If I look distracted, it's because like I'm at this event and everybody crowded around my car with cameras and stuff, and there's like somebody over there. I don't know who it is. I'm curious.
Maybe they're,
Oh,
maybe they're
A
famous.
lot of shows that get filmed in Dallas, Fort Worth. And I
yeah.
know in
So,
particular there in Flower Mound, I know a show that my wife watches, Love After Lockup, has been popularized in that area there in Flower Mound. At least like 2 or 3 spots I've recognized on the show from my old stomping grounds.
so yeah. If anything crazy happens, I'll try to get an interview and throw it up on the YouTube. But
Please do,
I think
man.
that's all we got on the run sheet. Yeah. Y'all got anything else before we get out of here? Yeah.
Wow.
Mavericks tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Are they done with Bally's? Are they going to be on Bally's still, or do we have to?
Yeah, they're
something
done with
that?
Valleys. It's all national.
Yeah, it should be TNT, ESPN. Yeah.
All right. It's like I had to like find alternate means, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to watch a Mavs game when they were on. So that's over. Anything before we get out of here, Nick? Any final thoughts?
No, I got nothing.
Roy?
Enjoy your week, fellas. Talk to you guys next
All
weekend,
right.
and hopefully I'll report back on how the party goes.
Awesome. Well,
Nothing.
I got nothing. And check out our sponsors. Give us a follow on the Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And until we see you again, stay above average.